Hi guys, Prisa here, and welcome to Two Bros. I'm really sorry for not posting yesterday, but I have a good excuse, so no punishment. On a different note, here's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. So I'm here to talk to you guys about like my 5 most funniest, most embarrassing, awesomest, like coolest moments in my life. So let's get started. One time, so this happened like actually last year. And my cousins were over, and so I was really hot because we were, like, running around, having fun, like, hanging out and stuff like that. So I put up my hair, and when, like, my hair's up, it, like, doesn't dry all the way, so it's still, like, a little wet. And so we go upstairs because we want to eat, and my mom has a chocolate bar in her hand. And I'm like, ooh, I want chocolate. And so I go, like, take her chocolate bar, and I start eating it. And my mom's like, Parisa, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm hungry. So I start eating, and I'm, like, leaning back against a counter. All of a sudden I hear this, like, because my hair is wet, and I turn around, and my hair is, like, on fire. And my mom's like, oh my god, Praise. And so she, like, leaps up, and she's, like, swatting my back, like, trying to get the flames out. And for some reason, it started, like, going down to the ground. I think it's because, like, stop, drop, and roll. So I guess, like, the school is, like, drill into your head so much, like, if you do catch fire, you do just, like, automatically just, like, bam, go into the ground and, like, just do what they say, I guess. Anyway, the flames did become extinguished, and without that much damage to my hair, which is really good. So yeah, that was about, like, when I figured out that karma does exist. Never take chocolate from your mom. Anyway, so there's this other story when I was about in second grade. There we go. When I was in second grade, so Jasmine and I went over to a friend's house, and she had a pond in her backyard where she kept her fish. But her fish died, so she's like, hey, do you guys want to, like, see where they lived and stuff like that? And we're like, yeah, sure, like, why not? Let's have fun. So we go outside, and, like, the pond is surrounded by bricks. So I'm, like, kneeling on the bricks, trying to, like, get a good look into the water, because apparently water is so fascinating. And all of a sudden, I feel myself, like, fall forward, and I go into the water in the middle of February, outside, in Minnesota. It's, like, probably, like, negative 20 degrees out right now. And so I fall, and I go into the pond. Like, that's not the scary part. Like, yeah, it was, like, freezing cold. But as I was trying to get up, I felt like something grab onto my leg. And so I couldn't, like, get up. And so I was trying to get up, but, like, something kept, like, pulling me under. And, like, the pond was actually, like, pretty deep. So, like, I couldn't, like, stand up all the way, you know? I don't know, it was just really weird. And so I almost died twice in my life. I've almost died, like, a couple of times, but that's just the basics. So not only did that happen, but I got my foot stuck in a shopping cart once. So my family and I was about 1 at the time, maybe like 6 months old, something around that range. And so pretty much what happened, I'm gonna, like, adjust this camera. Anyway, so what did happen was my dad, he accidentally, like, put me into the cart, but he put my foot into, like, the wrong section, like, not the section that you're supposed to put your feet in. So my foot went into there, and we were about to leave, and my dad was, like, trying to get me out, but, like, I wouldn't budge, and so he's like, and then, like, he's like, you know, he just couldn't get it out, and he's like, oh my god, Shar, her foot is stuck in the shopping cart. And so, because he's Superman, he decides that it'd be a good idea to try and, like, grab the cart, like, the bars, and, like, try and, like, wrench or, like, pry them open by himself, because, you know, like, he can totally do that. And so he's like, why won't they budge? And, like, yelling. And then the store manager comes by this point. He's like, what's going on? And he's like, my daughter's stuck in the shopping cart. And so the manager goes and, like, gets butter. And my dad, like, takes the butter and just, like, wraps it around my feet. And then my foot just goes, bloop. And I have a buttery foot, but it's not stuck in the shopping cart. Anyway, we ended up having to pay for the butter, which is not really that bad, because it's, like, free butter. Butter's butter. It's special butter, too. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I got my foot stuck in a shopping cart. And then I also had a traumatic experience in another shopping cart. So, when I was about maybe, like, 8 years old, Ella was, well, I don't think it was exactly 8. I was, like, 6, around that range. Ella was born, my little sister. She's, like, how old is she now? She's 9 years old now. She was probably maybe, like, she was really young at the time. I think she was, like, 1 at the time. And so I was leaning against the cart, you know, like, where the baby's, like, facing you in the seat. So I was leaning on it and sitting on it and standing on it, and my mom was like, Prisa, don't, you're going to get, like, hurt or something like that. You're going to fall and the cart's going to tip. I'm like, no, it's not. So I'm like sitting here and I'm like, doo-doo, and I'm just kind of like chilling out, and then all of a sudden the cart flips over, and I land on my back, and like the cart is like suffocating me, and my mom just screams, Ella! And so my mom's like running, like trying to make sure that Ella's okay, but like she kind of had her car, or she had like almost like a car seat in the stroller, so like she was strapped in, so like she didn't fall and die, which is really good. But yeah, my mom ended up being more concerned about Ella than her suffocating child, which is pretty sad. But yeah, so like I almost died by a shopping cart. It's not fun. It's not good, you guys. And while this all was going on, Jasmine was like sitting in the corner. She's like bawling her eyes out. She's like, "Oh my God, my sister's gonna die. She's getting suffocated as we speak." So I mean that was like kind of funny. After the fact, obviously. And since my family's also so cool, my dad wanted us like to try out ice skating and stuff like that. So he went to an ice rink with us, and he's like not very good. I'm not gonna lie, he's terrible. And so like he kind of had like hold on to the wall, but he'd still kind of like wobble while he was on the wall. And so he was like walking and like holding onto the wall, and all of a sudden like a Zamboni comes and like trying to like clear away the ice. And so I'm like, okay, let's just go out like to not get like run over or anything. But my dad's still like halfway across the ice rink, and so everyone's like out of the ice rink. He's still there, just like kind of like cruising along like on the thing, and he's like trying to get across, but like he can't, because like if he goes by himself, he will fall and like die. And so Jasmine and I were just like crying. We're like, Daddy, don't die, because I mean like we were like 5 or like 6, so like we didn't know that like the Zamboni would stop. And so I just remembered, like, crying and watching my dad just kind of, like, sit there and, like, going on the wall. And I remember just, like, crying and be like, who's gonna pay for dinner? Because, you know, like, that's all I care about. But, like, after the fact, I was like, oh, my dad could have died. What? I mean, so that pretty much happened. And so now you guys know, like, all the near-death experiences in my family. Mostly for me, but in my family in general. Because we're just that cool. But we're not all just failures. I'm going to show you guys a video about how cool my family can be, which is really surprising because we're not that cool. But here. Okay. Okay, you guys start. Well, 3, 2, 1. Isn't that cool? So I guess we're not all failures. Yes. But yeah, so see you guys next week, I guess. I mean, this is kind of like the end of the video now. I think I'm going to start recording on Thursdays, just to kind of like put that out there so you guys can watch me on Thursdays. The next topic, though, is like date week, and you guys are probably thinking, oh my God, this is like so boring. Like, why is she doing date week? Or why are they doing date week? But in reality, we're going to have a lot of fun with this because we're going to tell you what not to do, and we're just going to do like anything about dating. So watch you next week. Oh, and also before I forget, Maddie and I are doing like a short little movie, and we're going to try and make it into a saga, so be prepared to like watch that. We'll send it out like a little video like right before we're going to do it, so yeah, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, see you guys next week. Bye.